What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
Today we're diving into Handmaid's Tale Season 4, Episode 4, Milk. Interesting title, but it makes sense if you've seen it, and if you haven't, you probably don't want to watch this video just yet because we're going to spoil this whole episode, because that is what we're going to be doing here today. We're going to be talking about the episode. Liam and I don't pretend to be experts. We just love entertainment. We love talking about character arcs, how they write the story, the plot, do some predictions. It's kind of like if you were to watch something you really liked or didn't like and went and talked to your friends about it after. That's what we do here, and that's how you can do too. Down in the comments below, we love hearing your opinions. The only thing that we ask is that you don't spoil what's to come. We're talking about what's already happened and what we believe is good or bad, and whether that's right or wrong. It's an opinion, right? And so, love to hear yours down below as well. If you enjoyed the video, though, hit the like button. If you're having fun with us on this journey, hit subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. Little notification bell to all actually lets YouTube send you that notification because sometimes they just forget. So, without further ado, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so milk is fitting because at the beginning I was like, what the hell are they swimming in?
Yeah. No, for me, obviously, they jump into a refrigerated container on the back of a train that is holding milk. And that is basically where this title comes from.
Was it refrigerated though?
It's got to be, or it would go bad. It would curdle. So it has to be refrigerated, which is why they were so cold. It has to be. In order to transport any dairy, it has to be cold. It has to be refrigerated.
Okay.
So I want to address a couple of things because I really enjoy this journey we're going on because of the audience, because of you guys. And so we do need to address a couple of things. One thing you wanted to address was the fact that we just did not talk about Hannah last time. Mm-hmm. She was a very crucial part in that story that was written, allowing June to have the permission to give away her friends, right? Without Hannah being as that linchpin piece, then there's no reason why us as the watcher would be okay with June giving away her friends, right? So it had to happen the way it did. That's why I didn't talk about it. Because to me, that's just so on the nose. It needed to be that way. It had to happen like this, or it never would have happened. That we all can just predict that. Like, that's pretty easy for me. So I do apologize I didn't mention it. And another thing that was brought up, especially in the comments of the last video, was that, like, do we even like this show? And the reality is, I like the show. I enjoy it. I think that as a message and a story and overarching, it's good. But I'm also going to give you my real-time take on what I think about things. I'm not going to hold any punches. I'm going to share with you exactly how I feel, like I hope you share exactly how you feel. And that's cool. But what I will say is there are entire episodes of this show that are horrible to me. I think that, and it's not because of the world of Gilead, that's horrible in and of itself. What I'm saying is that from a perspective of someone enjoying a story, the writing is just not where I personally would like it to be, and therefore it takes me out of what could have been a really emotional and impactful episode. And so yeah, there are going to be entire episodes that I review where you're probably not going to agree with me and you're probably not going to like what I have to say. But at the same time, I'm not going to just lie to you because you want to hear something different. So that's just who I am. If you don't like it, then that's not the show for you, or this review of that show is not for you. And I'm just maybe not your cup of tea. That's just what I wanted to say.
All right. So they're hiding in the fluid we are supposed to believe is milk.
It is milk.
Okay. I don't get the whole refrigerator thing, but that doesn't it's not a here nor there. It's not even a really important piece of the episode. So
it's actually the one piece of the episode that was bad writing. It was horrible writing. But anyway.
Okay. So, moving forward, they're in the fluid container of the train. Mm-hmm. They're moving. They start getting attacked. And Janine's freaking out. June's like, no, this is what we want. If they're attacking our enemy, they're our friends, right? Mm-hmm. Enemy of my enemy, that whole thing. And so they come out and they are just completely, the rebels are completely shocked at two handmaids.
So they're not rebels. They're survivors. And that's the main distinction. Because rebels would not act as if that company of people did.
You're right.
They are just people who do not believe in Gilead and are trying to survive in a post-Gilead war world. And I think that's the main distinction when you hear later, are you Mayday? Oh, well, what's Mayday? Mm-hmm. Like, they're not rebels.
Scavengers.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just trying to get by. And like you said, like the food we have is the food we just pulled off that train. Like there's no
Anything weeks.
they're a little colony of people just trying to survive. They're not like an organized group of rebels that June was looking for. So that's why they're so surprised to see them. That's why they're so taken back that there's these handmaids on this train, because they're not used to running into that level of confrontation. They're hitting easy targets so they can survive.
And they're very fearful about letting them into the group, as any survivors would be, or in a survival situation, bringing someone completely new in can completely ruin everything, because they could take too much. They could be spies. They could be any number of different things. So they do have to be cautious. I do get that. Now, the leader of that organization, June,
Right before that, she says to him, "We haven't been caught yet. Like we have gotten this far on our own. We can be useful."
yes,
As in, like, hey, we're not just handmaids. Like, we actually have skills to survive. We have proven it based on just getting this far. And so she was leaning into, we can be rebels too. I think what I believe happened here, and I was so happy that it was depicted this way, because it's more realistic to the way the world works. Because right now, you have good and evil inside this world. You have Gilead, which is evil, and then you have like America, Canada, which is good. But in reality, both sides have good and evil on them.
oh, absolutely.
And what we got to see on this side is, although I believe his name was Charlie, the leader of this little resistance group, not resistance, they're survivors. I'm trying to get that out of my head, but they are resisting Gilead. The leader of this group, even though he doesn't believe the dogma of Gilead and doesn't want to fall into that, he still falls into the baser natures of humankind, where he'll still trade.
Power.
He doesn't push the power part, which is interesting. It shows you the dynamic difference between the people who push power in Gilead and the people who are just falling into their hedonistic ways and maybe abusing that situation the way they shouldn't. But he doesn't push the power, which is why June was able to get up and walk away.
He says, I'm not going to force you to do this. You can just leave.
Yep. Boom. Gave her choice, gave her power back, where Fred would have never done that.
Okay.
So yeah, was it screwed up that he even brought it up? Was it a fucked up situation? 1000%. But at the same time, they show you that both sides are fucked up. But there is also like a level of like this dogma power stuff over here that necessarily didn't happen over here.
I read that as him like, well, yeah, I mean, if you don't do this, you'll just die. That's how the words came out to me when he was saying it, because I feel like maybe that's the choice that she's playing through her head. Like, she doesn't do this, they're fucked.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a fucked up situation and a fucked up choice regardless. The only thing I wanted to point out was the distinction between the fact that there is good and evil on both sides, and that when you brought up the power push, I didn't see it that way, because he ultimately didn't force his power onto her. He just used it as a linchpin negotiating tool. Still fucked up. I'm not taking that away. But the way that you had presented to me, my mind went, no, that's not what he did. And so I just wanted to express that.
Okay. I just felt leverage there that he was exploiting. But ultimately, which really hurts me, is the fact that when she couldn't go through with it, Janine stepped up and went through with it.
Kind of thought that's where it was going to go.
Well, the moment that she's like, not her.
Well, no, because of Putnam. Most handmaids that we've been introduced to do not do anything oral, right? It's a ceremonial situation where their womb is the sacred thing. So like what we would consider like foreplay doesn't really exist in the world of Gilead, right? However, we were introduced to it through Jezebel's and then also through Putnam, who abused his power with Janine. So we already know that Janine has done this before for the sake of survival. And so then when we get in her flashbacks all throughout this episode and we're learning more about her, I kind of just assumed this is where it was going to go. I thought that June had protected her from it and they were just going to leave. And then when she came back down, she looked up in the episode, like when June walks away and then she looks up, I was like, okay, never mind. That's going to happen. But it was June had to deal with the fact that she had just told Janine, not even a day before, I don't know what the actual, probably in a couple hours, that she should have left her behind. Just like that mean girl, bitchy, I'm angry, I'm going to say something really mean to you statement that she said to her inside that milk truck. And then here you have innocent Janine literally doing anything she can to protect June, to keep June safe. And so June's got, like, we close on the episode with June having to not only deal with the fact that she almost had to go through with a horrible situation, but the fact that the person that she was just scolding and telling her how useless she was, how she should have left her behind, is literally the reason they're safe now. Like, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also get to go back in time to see a bit more of Janine's story as well. From when she goes to the clinic to have the abortion and is ultimately tricked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have her finally towards the end getting to an actual doctor that's a decent person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's I think it's intentionally done this way because we only know her to have Caleb. And so rolling into the episode, you clearly think she's going to the abortion clinic to get rid of the baby that will become Caleb. So then when you get this curveball that is this like bait and switch clinic, it kind of makes, to me, I was like, oh, well, that's why she ends up keeping Caleb, because this woman puts this crazy thought in her head and now she can't do it. But then you get to see Caleb later and then like all falls into pieces and it makes sense. The only thing that's missing for me is Janine mentioned early in the episode, and I was looking for closure in the answer towards the end, is that she can't keep the baby and the man doesn't want to be a part of her life. And to me, that means, though, well, she's sleeping with a married man, right? She's with a man who cannot have that child, nor could ever be a part of that child's life. And so it doesn't make sense for her already raising a child to be raising another child from another man who doesn't want to be a part of that life. But I wanted to kind of get confirmation on that. I don't think we ever did get confirmation on whether or not like that he was just a young innocent kid who just wasn't ready to mature and grow up, so made a stupid mistake and now was running from it, or was it an older man who was just making really bad choices?
Yeah, or it could have been just not a very good guy and she didn't want to subject the child to having him in the life.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted an answer on that variable. That's kind of what I was looking for, with like kind of closure on her story. That was like the only thing that I was thinking with that. However, for me, the scenes that stole this episode all happened in Canada.
I was going to lead us to Canada right after you were done with that. I was like, well, so we don't forget to talk about Canada this time, because there was some really important stuff here, especially with Rita.
Yeah. I think we'll go to Canada in a second, because I think it's powerful that we also just talk about Janine calls June out for Alma and Brianna and the rest of the handmaids being captured and killed. And
she wants to go back at the very beginning. And June's like, no, they're gone.
Yeah. I don't think she fully she wanted to go find the pieces, make sure they were dead. Like, and she was just like, no, they're gone. Like, there's no helping them. This is over. But June voices to Janine that the whole Hannah situation, right? The fact that she had to do it. And I don't think that was enough for Janine. Like, Janine at first just kind of sits down and she's like, so what? Like, I wouldn't have done that. Right. But towards the end of the episode, I think they kind of come back to terms to the fact that like, we're all just trying to survive this hellhole together. But I think it's important that you bring, because we've skipped over Hannah last time, because to me, it just felt like there was no other way that story played out. So like, it just kind of made sense. However, this time, I think it's important because one, you guys are asking for it. And two, it shows you that from the like we're doing, we're armchair quarterbacks, right? We're not in the situation. We're kind of schooling it from the outside. Janine was on the outside, armchair quarterback. And she was like, well, I probably wouldn't have done that same thing. But she doesn't know that Janine had just survived waterboarding, nail pulling. June had just survived waterboarding, nail pulling, and then ultimately the death of two of her comrades. And then it was Hannah. So I think anytime I get a lot of critiques that are my opinion, and I get that I'm an armchair quarterback and I am in the same position. So I fully own that. But at the same time, I was like, Janine's doing this right now, and I don't think that's very fair to June. Like, she doesn't know the full situation she's been through, nor do I think that Janine put in that situation would do anything different. So I was like, interesting. I do this too.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. Every single person on earth does.
We just get to do it on a scale because it's literally what we do for this. Yeah.
So we going to Canada now?
Yeah, we can go to Canada.
We can go to Canada. All right. So Serena wants to see Rita.
Yes.
And Rita is extremely conflicted. She ends up talking to Moira about it. And Moira's like, if I had the chance to get even or do something, I would totally take it. So I feel like that little talk there is what pushed Rita to be like, well, let's just see what this is first. Right?
Yeah.
And so she goes in, eventually sees Serena. Serena is attempting to be very familiar, and later on, Fred does the same exact thing.
When was Serena ever not nice to Rita? Because she really, like Rita was always good. Like, there was never a reason for, like, Rita was never out of line to them, right? Out of line. So fucked up to say, but never did anything that would be something that they would be upset about. So I've never seen a scene throughout these first 4 seasons where Fred or Serena comes down hard or disciplines or yells at Rita herself. Rita's always just kind of been this like amazing fixture in their home, kind of keeping it running for them. Am I wrong about that? So I don't think Serena's affection and I think it's actual like care, like maybe not care, but it's familiarity. I don't think it's fake.
Oh,
Fred's was definitely fake.
I'm not saying it's fake, but
Yeah.
you have to see it from Rita's perspective as well. Serena is like her guard. She's a prisoner of war in another country. And even though that guard may be friendly, they're still controlling you.
No, I'm not saying that, but the verbiage that you used in the beginning was different than what you just said now. And so when you first stated it to me, I was like, wait a second. Yeah, for sure. Fred, Weasel, definitely manipulating the situation, being fake nice at first. Serena, not at all. Serena was being real nice the entire time. However, I totally agree with you that she is so bought up in her own dogma and her own belief system that she believes that Rita's actually her friend. Like that Rita and her are actually like chummy, and that all the things that she did for Rita were actually helping Rita out, and that they're like chummy little friends that are going to raise a baby together, right? Like she's completely insane, delusional in that aspect, but also genuine in her care for her.
I get that.
Where Rita calls Fred on it, like, we're not friends. And then Fred just changes right back. You're right. And then goes right back to being Fred again, right? Which is like a total polar opposite from the two situations.
It is. I agree with that. I just wanted to paint the picture of how we got there and why she may have reacted the way she did.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just want to make sure that picture is crystal clear. That's all.
Got it. All right. So Serena shows her the ultrasound, like, yep, baby, and it's a boy, and you can see that Rita's genuinely happy.
She's very emotional. I think she just got news that
Maybe happy wasn't the right word.
well, she had just gotten news right before that her sister and nephew may have never made it to Canada under their names. So she's dealing with loss of family at that moment. She's never had her own family. She's been in servitude forever. She's literally been someone's registered property for like years. And then she gets to find out that the one person who probably in her eyes doesn't really deserve to have all these things is having a baby boy. So I'm sure there's a lot of emotions going through her mind. And one of them probably being happy because it's a baby and a life and a miracle in the world of Gilead. But at the same time, her ultimate decision on what she does lets you know how she really feels.
Yeah. Serena's like, yeah, I'm not telling Fred. He doesn't need to know all this stuff. And the first thing Rita does is rub it in his face.
Yeah, because she has no loyalty, no care. Like, Serena is delusional for going to Rita and looking for help. It's just delusional. And Rita responds in kind. Like, hey, I'm not here to help you. I enjoy this freedom. I'm going to go eat my sushi in the sunlight and, like, really and just enjoy being me and being free.
I feel like that's the moment when she's eating that sushi is when she finally is slightly at peace.
Yeah.
She got closure. But I also want to address, it doesn't really have much to do with the show at all, aside from it was just visually amazing. When Rita is talking to Serena I just love the gentle snowfall in the background. Nothing more than that. I just want to say that I really appreciate that scene. I don't know whether that was organic or staged or what,
Yeah.
but it was just a very nice addition to them two talking.
Yeah. No, that's one thing that Handmaid still does very well is catching the scene, the cinematography, the angles, all of that. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only issue is that sometimes they overlook logic in their writing, and then other times there are. So my big, and I'll just at the end of the episode we'll talk a little bit about the thing that I thought was like kind of off, right? Because there's always something, but I usually try to stick to the story because I get too logical with things. But that milk container they jumped in was a death sentence.
Yep, hypothermia.
Like they would have drowned. There are no drains on the inside of that thing.
I was also questioning, like, where'd all that milk go? Because they go from swimming in it to...
It drains quickly for the purpose of the show. And it's just draining out the back, apparently. Because that drain does exist on the outside. But it opens from the outside. Like, so it would be impossible for them to drain it from the inside. Nor for her to be able to find it while it's moving and swimming. They would have drowned before they ever got out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when she jumped in and it was a bug already at her mouth level, I'm like, she's dead. Don't tell Janine to jump down there. There's nothing for you to grab onto. You can't stand because you're going to keep sliding down. Mm-hmm. You're going to get tired. Like, I was like, this isn't going to work. But of course, they find the magic drain that makes it all work, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that to me is like the one thing where it's like, you could have done 10 minutes of Google research and figured out that wouldn't be feasible, but you didn't. And so now I'm stuck. So anyway, yeah, but for me, I love the fact that we are outside of Boston. We're moving across. We're now in Chicago. I'm hoping we get to finally meet Mayday. We're seeing the ultimate, I think, karmic resolution for Serena and Fred, because now it's coming back to bite them, all the evil and shit in the world. They have a baby and they can't even have it together, and they're at ends, and they're basically going to be prisoners of war for a long time. Mm-hmm. So it is karmic retribution, and we're going to continue to watch June move ahead. My big hope is that now that we've lost so many of our handmaids that we came to know and love, and Janine and June are kind of marching forward, that it kind of takes on more of that rebel vibe. And it starts to become more of like, they are part of Mayday. They're learning how to actually lead a rebellion and do different things. That ultimately allows season 6 to make more sense and go off about that the way it does, mm-hmm. right? Because now they have that knowledge, experience, and connection. But still enjoy the series overall. But again, I'm going to be completely honest. There are things that happen that I'm just like, that just doesn't make sense. And it makes it hard for me to keep moving. But I do. I remove the disbelief and keep moving.
To be fair, that happens in a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not like this is being singled out.
Yeah. But I mean, another great entry. Again, love that we're moving forward in this story and moving it to new places. I can't wait to see more of the Serena and Fred and the baby story. I love that Rita found peace in this episode. Janine had a lot of backstory drops, so we got even more about her, which was great. Would love to see more of the conclusion and get the answers we were talking about. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know down below. If you agreed or disagreed with anything I had to say, I know it was a bit of a contentious one today for me, but I feel you guys in the comments. I read your comments. I see what you're saying. At the same time, I can't sway the way I feel because you feel differently. And that's just, I want to be honest. That's all. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you have something to say, even if it's something against what I had to say, I can't wait to read it down below. And we'll be back again on Thursday with another one for you from Handmaid's Tale. And we'll see you there. Plenty of videos for you till then. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.